Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking Reds, and this is back to episode 2 of the Talking to 1,000 Liverpool fans for this channel. Speaking to 1,000 Liverpool fans for Talking Reds is our challenge, and this is episode 2 with our very own Stu, who is part of our team already, but this is going to tell us his story of becoming a Liverpool fan. He's going to tell us his memories of becoming a Liverpool fan, and yeah, I'm intrigued to his story. We talk about Liverpool all the time, Stu, me and you, but... Yeah. We don't really talk about our stories, do we? We don't really talk about how we became Liverpool fans and why we love Liverpool and things like that. And I like to go down memory lane. I like to go nostalgic. And the idea of this challenge is to bring people across the world that support Liverpool, bring them all together and tell their stories. And this is what I want you to do on this. This is not about me and Stu telling you the news, telling you match reaction. It's about me and Stu speaking of Stu's story of becoming a Liverpool fan. So, Stu, how did you become a Liverpool fan? First and foremost, that's the first question.
To be honest, I didn't really have much choice. I grew up on the Wirral. That's where I'm from. So being on the Wirral, you were either blue or red at that point in time. And because I grew up in the 80s, that's when Liverpool were probably at their mightiest. And yeah, red through and through from probably, I would say about the age of 5 or 6, I think is when I started getting my first Liverpool kits. So from there on, it was no other club. No other club came close at all. Through thick and thin.
Was there any blues in the family, or was it just reds?
No, I mean, to be fair, my family themselves aren't big football fans. I'm the big football fan. So I kind of had like free reign, so to speak. It was mainly like sort of the vast majority of my mates. They were reds. There was the occasional blue nose in there, which is always good for a bit of banter. And as I got a little bit older, the occasional mank creeped in as well, which is weird. I never understood how scousers and that who lived near the area ended up supporting Man United, but still, like, each to their own.
What scousers?
Yeah, obviously.
I've come across that. I've never come across that.
Wow. Perhaps not so much on the actual Liverpool side of the Mersey, but definitely on the Woollyback side.
There's only Rooney that I know that spots my name. It's only Rooney, but I can get that Everton United connection a bit more so, especially with Rooney now. Yeah. Possibly, yeah. I can see kids supporting Rooney as going through Everton and following him to Man United, possibly. Yeah. But when you was a kid, there was no Rooney, was there? So that's a strange one.
I definitely remember a couple of instances coming across people like or younger kids who support Man United, and it was just weird. You're either Everton or Liverpool from where I'm from, and that was it really.
What's the earliest Liverpool story you have? Like, it could be going to a game, it could be something that's happened at home. Anything that you can think of as young as you can. For example, I'll give you my example. My earliest memory of Liverpool is remembering the FA Cup route to FA Cup. I think it was 1996, 1997, and it was the season when I'm sure we had the green and the white squares.
I
think it was that, and I remember the commentary specifically on throughout the entire thing. I could watch that video now. That route to that final. I think we lost in the final. So I remember it just being the route to that. It was on cassette. It was on the VHS. I remember watching that constantly, and remember the commentator saying Mac Attack for McAtee and Matt Manaman telling him to specifically, and they were saying that's Mac Attack. I remember certain commentary parts of it. It's weird. I can hear that voice in my head.
Yeah,
that's one of my earliest memory.
Earliest memory, I would say, would be, oh god, it's close because I went to 2 or 3 games and they were all in the same season, and it's all amalgamates into one. But the one that really like sort of springs to mind and it's always stuck in my mind. I was there at Anfield on the day that Blackburn won the league title, and
Man
United. And I've never seen so many Scousers jump and celebrate for the fact that United lost the league title. It didn't even matter. I mean, we actually booed. I do remember this. We actually booed our own players when we went 2-1 up. And we made Blackburn lose. And we actually booed our own players because we didn't want Man United to win the title. And in the end, it didn't really matter. They didn't. So, and it was the fact that Dalglish was there as well. He was the manager and wins at Anfield as well. It was it was an awesome day. It was an awesome day.
After loss.
It's
that's a pettiness, though, isn't it? But that's how we feel about Man United. That's exactly how we feel, and that pettiness really
especially that day
resonates with football fans.
Yeah, especially that day. That's when obviously Fergie was starting to get a real stranglehold on the Premier League by that point. So yeah, for them to lose it was quite funny to say the least.
At home, obviously, you said you're the only football fan. How easy was it then to get kits? Was it just Christmas presents, or because you was a football fan? Did they focus on that? Because I mean, I grew up in a football household.
I didn't struggle for the football shirts when I was younger. It was either off my mum for my birthday or my dad for birthday, Christmas, or whatever. So yeah, I definitely didn't struggle for that, and I had a lot of them. Unfortunately, I don't have any of them now, but I did have a lot. I think I had every kit every single year, probably from, I'd say, 85, 86, all the way through to the noughties. Easy. Before things obviously started getting a little bit more expensive, but that's another story altogether. But yeah, I was never short of the kits. I had some real nice favourite ones as well. There was some.
Go on, which one? Which one's your favourite?
There were a few. I actually really liked the green and white 4 squared.
The squares, yeah.
I don't know why. I kind of like that. I like the collar on it, the granddad collar. It was just kind of cool.
What does that remind you of? What players does that remind you of? There's one person that comes into mind for me.
Well, Fowler is one.
Blonde hair, Robbie Fowler, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was. Yeah. Blonde hair, Robbie Fowler. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the shirts were a little bit bigger and baggier, but I always had a soft spot for the bright yellow Crown Paints one.
Oh yeah,
because that was one of my. I think it was either one of or was my first ever kit that I got when I was a kid, and also the silver triangle.
That's a nice one. That's Crown Paint. Yeah,
I actually got that for Christmas.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I got to pick that from the store as my Christmas present. So I've got a nice little copy of that now.
Who was the first player on your back then? Did you ever get players on your back? I don't know. Did you put players on the back in like 80s? I don't remember that.
Not in the 80s, but definitely in the 90s.
90s one, yeah.
Yeah, 90s was the. In fact, actually, no names were actually on shirts until the league went to the Premier League style, I think.
It was 90s. It was 90s. I remember getting a knockoff one abroad in Turkey. Turkey or Spain, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I did have some of the shirts with names on, obviously standard ones like Fowler or a little bit later on, or Gerrard one that's behind me, signed as well. But I did have I think it was 1995 home one, thick white collar, red with a huge badge on it. I had a Redknapp on the back of it.
Wow, Redknapp, eh? I didn't expect that. That came left field.
Well, that one was one of those that was already pre-printed in store. So I bought it, and then a few weeks later, out with my mates, playing footy down our local field, I'm wearing that shirt, and who turns up in the car park? Jason McAteer. So I run over, in fact, all of us run over, go, oh, can you sell a shirt? I turn around, I got Redknapp on the back, and he stands taking the mick out of me. Only a few years later, I end up in the same college as his brother and end up with a connection go through there. And I was speaking to his brother about how he's taking the mick out of me and ended up getting in contact with him. And he actually still remembered the story at that point as well. So I've got a Jason McAteer signature on the back of a Redknapp shirt.
That is funny. That's funny. I mean, the Redknapp, well, back then, though, in his prime, he actually was a decent player. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, to be honest. He was a really, really good player.
He had a great
he was like the Gerrard sort of player before Gerrard. I'm not saying he was never near the Gerrard levels, but he was that sort of player, and he was captain as well. I think Redknapp definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Yeah, he was a very good centre mid, and he had a good range of passing on him. He had a good shot on him. It's just unfortunate that he had the body of a matchstick, unfortunately. So.
That's why Tottenham suited him when he went to Tottenham. I mean,
true.
It was him and Darren Hunter, wasn't it? Having a little battle about who was the worst person to have.
Sick note.
Sick note was his name, wasn't it, Darren Hunter? Yeah. We could have called that for Jamie Redknapp, though. Obviously, we've spoken about our favourite players before. I think Gerrard's obviously going to favourite player. I think he's everyone's favourite player now. It's a standard question, isn't it? who's your favourite player.
Yeah,
Being Gerrard, it seems to be everyone's favourite player. Maybe a little bit older might go Dalglish potentially or something like that. Newer ones that have not seen Gerrard will
I
excel
try and break
clearly.
it down into like eras.
Eras,
If I can.
yeah.
So Gerrard is definitely of that era. The Gerrard era, he was the number one player, always will be one of the best. Pre him, like, so if you're talking like sort of Redknapp era, when I first went to like sort of the matches and that,
Yeah.
I would actually say probably my favourite players around that time would have been McManaman and Fowler.
Macca,
Fowler was by far one of my all-time favourite strikers. He just had a wicked left foot. It was amazing. But McManaman, he was just such a nippy, twisty little winger.
He used to call him spider legs, me and my dad.
Yeah. It's also it's completely spaghetti legs. But
Yeah.
that's how he got past players. And he was a really, really good winger for us. And he was one of my favourite players. Kind of in just before or just after him, round about the same time, John Barnes, another excellent winger. So there's a theme there. I like my wingers. I like my pacey.
You flair players. I'm saying you used to like flair.
Yeah, I who doesn't know? Who doesn't?
Yeah, well, it's not like everyone's favourite player. It's centre mids. I've always had a thing with centre mids because of Gerrard. I think it's a Gerrard thing. I think I grew up in the era where it was Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes debate, and with like Man United fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans around me as well. They got England shirts with Lampard at back, or I got one with Gerrard at back, and they got like England shirt with Scholes at back or something like that. And it was always like a big rivalry between that. Yeah. But we would always shout Gerrard in the park. It's a known thing to shout Gerrard in the park when you hit a ball. And I think I was at the right age for that as well, which was perfect for Gerrard. It's a shame that I didn't see the Barnes thing. I caught the end of John Barnes, but he's one of my dad's favourite players. And
I'll go to the tail end of Barnes' career.
Yeah.
And Rushy, just as the likes of Fowler and McManaman were coming out
through.
Into the first team. So that's when I first really started getting in and following Liverpool. It was round about that point when that new generation was coming through. And then from that point, that's when I was really hooked into it. Just because of Spice Boys era. Ugh.
The white suits.
It gives me shit with that.
I think I sort of got it, but I think I was too young to understand what was actually going on and why. Looking back on it now, I can think, wow, why would they do that? Why would they do that? You just set yourself up for failure. What's your greatest memory then, Stu, as a Liverpool fan? A game or is it an experience that you've been in?
If I'm going game-wise, it has to be Istanbul. And I was gutted I had the chance to be there and I couldn't make it. My mates went over there, they got the tickets and I had the chance to be there, but I couldn't get out of work. So I was devastated that I couldn't make it.
Are you still working for them by any chance?
It's because I was in the military at the time. I couldn't get
leave. Yeah, okay.
So they wouldn't let me go. I was like, arseholes. But I think obviously game-wise it would be that. Memory-wise would be 2001, and that was going to the first victory parade when we won the domestic double and the UEFA Cup.
The 5 trophies won that year,
yeah, and the 5 trophies, and they did the parade through Liverpool City Centre. God, that was some experience. That I've never seen so many people in one place in my life. But yeah, those are a couple of memories that really stand out for me.
Because you live so near Liverpool, also you grew up in the Wirral. I asked this question on the first episode. Like, we're seeing like online with the connection with the fans. It seems to be. I don't like it. I don't like the divide between the thing, and I don't like. Obviously, regarding FSG or whatever, I'm not going to talk about FSG on this episode, but it's creating a divide in terms of online fans, or what people like to call them, or worldwide fans to locals. But then I don't agree what some locals. This isn't every local, is it? A lot of Scousers agree with what we think our stance on the ownership and stuff. But I think there's a lot of outside fans that also don't know the story of Liverpool and don't know the story of what's happened in that city. And I've always had the connection between supporting Liverpool and the city itself. With someone that lives so close, how important do you think that is for fans?
Incredibly important. I don't really understand much of it when I was younger, but I definitely do now, without a shadow of a doubt. I think you definitely do when, like, sort of, not only when you're from that certain area, or it's one of those things that I think it just clicks more as you get older. Anyway, you start to understand things more. But the way that whole entire community has been treated for 50, 60, 70 years by the government, and it stems from that. That's why we hold the club so close, and that's why it should always stay close to the people of that community. But obviously, in the era of globalization and new fans coming in from all around the world, they're obviously supporting the club. They're putting their own money into the club, buying tickets, merchandise, and all that sort of stuff. Of course, they have a right to say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the core things of the club, it needs to be about the people around the club, i.e. the people in the city and in that actual country who actually understand the politics that go along with our club. And we are a complicated political club. Don't get me wrong. It is a very hard thing to understand. But if you are a new Liverpool fan and you are watching this, just understand a couple of things. Never, ever buy the shithole Sun newspaper, for one. Never, ever support the UK government, for two. And listen to the people of the area, because they know what is best for that club. And that is exactly what should be happening at the moment.
It's odd because I hate the animosity towards global fans. I hate the animosity to people outside of Liverpool from a couple of scousers. It's not like I said, not all scousers are like this. There's a lot that like us and that very, very welcome to everyone. In fact, most of Liverpool's welcome. Every time I visit Liverpool, it's the most welcoming city I've ever been to. When I was a child, it didn't help that I was a Liverpool fan when I was a child. A Liverpool shirt when I was a child at this point. But I remember my uncle used to stay there and used to live there, and we used to stay there. And the warm welcome you get from Scousers, the most genuine people on earth. And as a Northerner, I had the same morals as them as well.
Yep.
So it's not as hard for me to understand their viewpoints and their socials. But I think that Liverpool, the football club itself, brings that as well. It brings the love, it brings the thing. And this is why when I see the divide online or whatever,
this is the thing that
it's painful. It's painful to see.
It is, and you're never ever going to get away from the globalization of it now. That's just the future that we are in, and we have to accept that. And as fans, we have to accept that we are going to have fans from all around the world having their own opinions about how Liverpool should be run. But as I say, I'd encourage those fans, even if they are new fans of only a couple of months or a year or just a few years, or even fans for decades, but still haven't learned what it is that makes Liverpool Liverpool Football Club. Just do a little bit of research on the history. Make sure you dot your I's and you cross your T's on these sort of things. Then you can understand why we are the way we are. Because we are unique Liverpool fans, and Liverpool is a unique city. You can ask even the Everton fans will agree with that one. That is a certainty. I know that for a fact. And I think it is sad to see the divide. I do think it's a little bit of a minority. I hope it's a minority anyway.
I think it is, yeah.
As I said, for global fans, they are welcome to the club. At the end of the day, it's the future. It's where the money's coming from. So that's only increasing the brand of the actual club. So hopefully that'll increase the success of the club.
Advertise Liverpool Football Club. Say there's someone out there from America, just using a country as an example, America. They come across, they don't spot a football team. How would you advertise Liverpool Football Club?
Oh, that's quite easy, actually. All you have to do is show them you'll never walk alone. That is it. Full stadium, full volume. You'll never walk alone. And that'll get them straight off. It's a winner. I don't know many people that would, non-football fans, that would disagree with that, to be fair. I think that is just the winner. And again, it's one of the things that makes our club unique and stand out.
Is there anything you'd change?
What about the club?
Yeah.
I think for me, more than anything, I understand business is business. I would like a little bit more transparency. I say I understand business is business, and a lot of things have to get done behind closed doors, etc., etc. But transparency and communication are huge things in any walk of life, and it's the same with the club to the supporters. Be transparent, communicate. Then perhaps you won't get as much shit as you do get sometimes.
And it is valid, most of it. So
exactly, it's one of those. Just communicate with us. Let us know. You don't have to be telling us exactly what you're doing. Just give us some sort of indication. You're clever people at the end of the day. You're running a multi-billion-pound football club. I'm sure you can come up with some sort of lines of communication to the fans to let us know what is going on about certain things in the club.
Before we go, though, Stu, to finish it off, what does Liverpool Football Club mean to
you? Way of life, success, never ending, I think.
I like that word. They're never ending. It's like, you don't ever end your support for the club.
Yeah.
There will be people out there probably that'll just lose a game, support a different team next day. But as a true fan, you never stop supporting that same club.
Through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Through the glory of the 80s into the turmoil of the 90s and the mixed fortunes of the noughties to the recent success over the last decade. So it all swings in roundabouts, all goes up and down like a roller coaster. So that's what it is. It's never ending, regardless of what's happening.
Thank you, Stu, for joining me tonight. Thank you for getting on this challenge. Hopefully, we've got another 998 to go. So this is episode 2 of interviewing 1,000 Liverpool fans. I hope everyone at home is enjoying these 2 episodes so far. I hope everyone is getting a bit of nostalgia. If, like I said, if you're a new Liverpool fan, just research the club and just enjoy being a fan as well, because it's a special sport and it's a special club. I'm telling you that now. It's a special city, a special club, and this is what I want to do: is bring all fans from across the world, 1,000 Liverpool fans, that get interviewed about their love for Liverpool, because we all love the same club. We're all connected to this club one way or another, and I want to hear your story, just like we've heard Stu's story. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and get your notification bells on as well. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, guys.